right, so we're back again. This is episode 2 of the Goobville Podcast, man. Been gone for a little minute. Had some stuff going on. Today is Sunday, November the 14th. So yeah, just had a lot going on lately. Son turned 5 last week. Shout out to Big Gooby. Yeah, we celebrated that on last Wednesday. Went down, well, he had a soccer game Saturday, cheering them on, rooting them on there. We fought hard, but, that other team, man, they had this kid that was just like Ronaldo at like 4. Like, this dude is doing, like, he's dribbling and all that, and I'm just like, all right, man, like, come on. I mean, they had like 4 or 5 players that was doing their thing. So I mean, shout out to that team. Goob had a few fast breaks, man. He was about to score for sure, but just couldn't drive him. He just couldn't drive him home. But that was all good. I mean, he ended up having a party later on that Saturday, at my mom's house. Got to run around and be with his cousins. So he definitely had a good time there, and that just kind of transitioned to Sunday. He had this soccer game in Greensboro. We went down to Raleigh to have his birthday party, and actually came back down the same day. So Saturday was pretty much a blur. Didn't really catch too much college football, but got enough action. So, in other news, my wife did accept an offer at Duke Hospital, so gonna be moving back home in Raleigh, North Carolina pretty soon. So I guess that's kind of exciting. Gonna be closer to family and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and get into this, because I don't want to drag us out. It's already 11 o'clock. So college football. I think I talked about me kind of being more invested in the NFL this year than college from like previous years, because I've always kind of been more into college. Watching more college than NFL. But now it's just like, getting all 22 from NFL and stuff like that. It's just kind of like drew me in, and plus me writing for NinersNation, automatically kind of draws me into like focus on NFL more. So, but yeah, college football. I saw most of that Thursday game between UNC and Pitt. Pretty competitive game. Sometimes it's kind of exciting to see what Mac Brown's gonna do. Sam Howell's been kind of not really getting up to that first round hype. I guess he was getting before the season, but I could be wrong. I didn't really keep up with the draft rankings, like the 2022 draft rankings. How people be early on that stuff or whatever. But college is kind of more exciting. Better chance of upsets, and games just feel like they mean more week to week. So it's always good to try to tune into that. So I definitely chickened out on the college betting this week. Just didn't really see too much that was just that was locks. Even when I seen Bama to cover by 42, I was just like, I should have known, but I was just like, that defense just, they give up explosives every now and then. So it's not even really every now and then. They kind of give up explosives every game. So, but Bama ended up doing what they do. So, I don't know. The betting was just kind of just an iffy week for me. So I just kind of stayed away from it. Upsets, we got Kansas over Texas. Sark, I don't even know what to say to you. It's pretty sad, real sad. Baylor over Oklahoma. Big win for Dave Aranda. Lincoln Riley's looking pretty sick. Tennessee hung around with Georgia in the first half. I mean, it did end up getting ugly, but it was interesting to see that first half. I might have to try to get back and watch like a college replay of that. At least just the first half. I mean, it's not gonna be. Of course, I can't dig too much into it because we still got, and I think they still ended up getting blown out. But like, just to see what that Tennessee defense kind of did to kind of attack that Georgia offense, because I think it's lackluster, man. A lot of people are saying that Georgia's got the edge over Bama because of their defense. But I mean, like, can Georgia score points with Bama? Like, I mean, I guess people are just thinking that like Georgia's gonna shut out Bama, which I mean, I guess they have the right to like think that, even though I disagree. But whatever. So, Florida gives up 52 to Samford. I mean, Florida had a comeback win, but like Samford, Dan Mullen, it's crazy. Pray for New Tab on that one, man. I know he was he doesn't even watch the games, but that was sick. I talked about Alabama steamrolling New Mexico State. Maybe I didn't talk about New Mexico State, but yeah, sorry. My college coverage is kinda like weak right now. Fell asleep like when we got back yesterday night. Got back in time for the State Wake Forest game. They was playing in Winston. That could have been a decent game to get to, but that was a high scoring game. But like I said, I fell asleep on it, so like kind of missed that one. But yeah. What about Wake Forest? Like pretty. I mean, they lost to UNC last week, which was pretty bad. They did need that, but they're still having a pretty good season. I'd have to say. So, slick shout out to them, I guess. I mean, growing up, in North Carolina, I definitely was never worried or, even thinking about Wake Forest football. So, they're doing it big. So, looking at Bama's next opponent, Arkansas, kind of a bit of an up and down team. Had big wins early in the season over Texas and Texas A&M. I'm pretty sure both of them were ranked at the time. And I think Texas A&M was top 10 in the country at the time, actually. But they ended up going on to a 3-game losing streak. Got shut out by Georgia. Lost in a shootout to Lane Kiffin, 51-52. So that's a pretty competitive game, you know what I mean? Especially like hanging around with a offensive play caller in Lane. I just saw Darren Waller score for the Raiders. Sorry, my prop might not be dead, but it's looking bad. Oh, is it coming back? Oh, it's coming back. That's sad. All right. Anyway, where was I at? Yeah, I mean having a competitive game against Lane Kiffin, especially putting that much points on offense, is kind of like alarming. Because, like I said, Bama's kind of struggled with limiting explosive plays on defense. So, whenever you have that problem, man, you're going to have offenses test you, I mean, I feel like Bama's been so great the last decade anyway, so teams already want to play their best against them because, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, if you were playing Bama, why would you not play the best game of your life? I mean, it's going to be like, what I mean? I hate to say it like that, but like, it's going to be scouts watching and stuff like that, etc. Like, you're kind of getting like free exposure off playing Bama, honestly. So, I mean, that's just a part of being Alabama, the brand. You're always gonna get your best shot. So I wouldn't sleep on Arkansas at all. I mean, even though they did lose pretty bad to Auburn, kind of just coming off of like a gunslinging win. Nail. Should I call it a nail biter against LSU? I mean, like even Bama's game against LSU was kind of like just like one of those get out of there nights. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's just kind of the college football. Almost any given Sunday type mantra too. Like, I mean, like sometimes people just want it more. So I'm rambling. I mean, my thing is, I'm not just gonna say like Bama's favored by 20.5 points. Do I think they can cover that against Arkansas? Yeah, but do I think they will? I don't know. Like, I just think that I think that Arkansas is capable enough of some explosive plays to probably hang around. So I don't know about that one. So I would definitely take the over in 56 points. Bama's probably hanging 50 easily. So, with that being said, do they cover? I don't know. I feel like Ole Miss might. I don't know, man. I feel like they might score like 21 or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like my math is probably super off right now. Cause that's still a 20-point spread. Whatever. I don't know. The whole when I see like a lot of points, either I'm invested in it like off the rip, like if you know what I mean, like I'm always looking at it like, oh, like that's a lot of points for a team to to have. So like I'm always kind of optimistic of like seeing if the team can make it through. So that's probably my part on bad betting. It's kind of just like my betting tactic almost. So I don't know. I'm probably overthinking that one. So yeah, but after that, Bama plays their final game against Auburn, who just got outscored 33-6 in the second half against Mississippi State. So Auburn is just always like Auburn is just always I don't know if I call it a nail biting game, but it's just always like it's a rivalry game, so it's always just I want to call it emphasis game. It's probably a horrible word, but I just can't think of what to put on it. It's just like always I hate to say statement game because Auburn's probably not good enough to be a statement game, but it's just like, it's one of those games you kind of like have to win. If that makes sense. I don't know. It's part of the whole statement. It's part of the whole rivalry game that I'm talking about. I'm probably just rambling a little bit. Bear with me. So, yeah. All right, we can transition into some NFL. Like I said, I'm not gonna hold y'all. It's already late Sunday. It's kind of just some overview, kind of thoughts I got going on. So talking about the NFL, like I've been talking about how I'm so invested in the NFL, but it's really been Niners, and even then it's probably probably not putting out as much as I want to, because like I said last week, I got caught up with my son's birthday, stuff like that. So still have time, still having to make time, stuff like that, while still working this full-time job. See what Carr's about to do on 4th and goal. Hit Waller. No. So that parlay is toast. All right. So we can start with Thursday night game. Dolphins versus the Ravens. Dolphins exposed Lamar Jackson, blitzing him a lot. Lamar hasn't really grown against the blitz. I haven't watched the 22 of it, so I'm not gonna like super grill him because I don't really know. Like I watched the game live for the most part, and I watched some of it back. But when I watched most of it back, it was the broadcast view. So I think Greg Roman is to blame. Honestly, like the guy's mid. I don't know. The guy, he stinks, man. I'm sorry. I guess the rushing attack is good. It's so good that you want to like praise him. I don't know, man, but his offensive concepts, his offensive passing concept has just been mid for like I don't know how long with Lamar. But I don't know, man. Cause I forgot what team blitzed him. I believe the Broncos blitzed Lamar a lot, and I think Lamar might have had a pick or two against the Broncos. I can't really think about it, but I'm pretty sure they won that game comfortably. But maybe it was just the Ravens defense on that one. So I don't know. Clearly Lamar has to play better, but I think that offensive play calling is definitely a factor. in that for sure. So, yeah, like I said, Saturday came back from Raleigh, so Sunday. I mean, Sundays are usually kind of always hectic with my son and daughter, cause like they know when their mom's gone. It's kind of like like not free time, but they. I mean, they. I mean, I'm. What I mean, I'm the dad. I don't know. I hate to say I'm the dad. Like what I mean? Not trying to do like gender roles or nothing like that, but we kind of like play around this and that. So they're kind of like when they get up on Sunday morning, they're like on 10 Sunday morning. Like I'm, that's like Sundays like always usually a relaxed day for me. You know what I mean? So it's usually not really too much of that because they're up on 10. They're up on level 10 at like 6 in the morning, if not a little bit earlier. Like it's daylight savings time too, so you'd think they would be like sleeping a little bit more. Nah, they're up. They're up regardless. I mean, well, it's fall back, so you got extra hours. Sorry, rambling again. But yeah. So pretty much, so the Niners didn't play today, so I'm just thinking like, yeah, let me. I kind of I do this often. Like even if the Niners have a 4 o'clock game, I'll be like, yeah, man, let me clip some games. Not even really to be like active on Twitter or anything like that, but just clip some games. Maybe ask some people some questions about it, but like. I really try to clip it and like watch the games just because I'm trying to like talk about it, talk about the game. So I mean clearly you watch the game, you wanna know about the game. If you watch the game, then you can clearly have notes about the game and talk about the game. But like doing that without multiple monitors and multiple TVs, it's just impossible, man. Like even with the Game Pass, like I'm able to do the play-by-play, but it's like if it's 4 games on, like I was probably clipping. Let me see, because I mean I probably will release most of these clips like tonight. I'd probably just end up like like just randomly tweeting them without no words in there, just because I clipped them and it's like all right, they got to go somewhere. But yeah, it's like 35 to 40, like it's like 35 clips. So I mean I was probably already doing too much anyway, but it's probably like sorry, I'm saying it's probably like 80 times. But I mean, I got a few plays from Broncos, Eagles. A few plays from Chargers, Vikings, Bucks football team. Who's this? Is this some Lions? Sorry, like this is Patriots, Browns. So I think I was doing like 3 or 4 games. So I mean, it's a lot. It's just a lot to keep up with, honestly. Especially when the kids are kind of going crazy, feeding them multiple times and stuff like that. But we're gonna get to it soon, for sure. Maybe not even like I probably gotta slow it down with the film. You know what I mean? I could probably just watch it and then talk about it. But like, who doesn't like seeing what's going on with it? So I kind of gotta get into a groove with that because the plan was to really like get my first blog site fired up tonight, but that's probably a wrap because I'm doing some NinersNation stuff tonight. So yeah, where are we at now? Sorry, been rambling about the Ravens too long. All right, so talked about that. Sorry. All right, I guess we can get into my parlays. Yeah, I guess we can get into the parlays, man. Had a heater parlay. Put $5 in. You get $4.67 off this. All right, 17 parlay, and the Broncos failed me. You know what I mean? Teddy failed me. I mean, I guess good defense, good closeout by the Eagles, but I mean, golly, man, Broncos. All right, so I had Seattle and Green Bay under 48.5 points. Packers money line, Eagles and Broncos over 44 points. They scored 43. So I mean that's what's ruined it. That's what ruined it. So yeah, Vikings money line, Bills money line, Browns and Patriots over. You know what I mean? The Patriots almost covered that by themselves. They had 45, and the Browns had a lone touchdown, so they covered that over. and I had Lions money line, but that was pushed since it ended in a tie. Pittsburgh is pretty mid for the ending of that. I mean, fumbling it for a tie. I mean, I guess they were in field goal range, but regardless, just a bad way to end the game. Yeah, took some other small few parlay losses, but I mean they weren't really to the magnitude of the pain of that one, because I mean literally missed that parlay by a point. So it's just like, golly, like I'm pretty sure not the parlay that really messed me up was believing in Atlanta so much. I mean they got demolished by the Cowboys. I didn't watch too much of that game, but I just kept seeing the score, and it was just like, golly. So yeah, that's not good. So yeah, we can get into some Niners. We're gonna wrap this up. It's gonna be a little quick episode. We'll probably get back to this tomorrow, honestly, after the game. Maybe get a little bit of instant reaction, huh? But San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. What about them? But entering week 10 with 3 wins is just nasty. It's rough, you know what I mean? So clearly this is this could be a statement win. I mean, the Rams are definitely, one of the top teams in the NFL. 7-2. Sean McVay's kept I don't know what to call it. I'm not gonna say a poised team since being with the Rams, but it just felt like, competitive. I mean, they've always, I don't know. I think he's only missed the playoffs 1 year, and out of all the years he's been there as long as Kyle, right? I believe they were both hired in 2017. I could be wrong though. But yeah. So I hate to say I don't know what to say about this game. Like, I got to do a roundtable for Niners Nation. It's just like, and one of the parlays, it was already cooked. So I did pick the Niners, and I picked them to cover. I picked the over in the points. I think the points was what is the points? I thought I had it in some notes. I don't even have it in some notes. I think I locked in the over at 49. I think I said like 57 now. So, but I mean, yeah, like I said, that's already cooked. But yeah, Los Angeles is clearly like a. Sorry, I'm about to ramble about how they're already good, but sorry. Why won't I just go ahead and talk about the additions? Duh. Well, first, let me focus on the Niners before I go into the whole Rams Monday Night Football primetime matchup, because it's a little bit of looking in the mirror for Kyle Shanahan. You know what I mean? He talked about this whole sense of urgency earlier in the week. You know, I had a column about that, and the point was, you know, he's talking this urgency, and it's just like, bro, you just lost to a dismantled Arizona team. I mean, they were missing Kyler Murray, missing DeAndre Hopkins, missing AJ Green. I believe Chase Edmonds got hurt in the first quarter. I believe Justin Pugh, maybe I might be getting that wrong, but pretty sure they lost an offensive lineman in that game too. And just like, bro, it's got demolished, bro. It's no excuses. Like, they were up 31-7, I believe, at one point in the game. And it's just like, dude, like, he just got to get his head out of his ass. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. Like, I really hate to call for the firing of him, and I feel like I probably have kind of had that notion in my writing, because I mean, kind of slick, but it's just like, I guess I can't fully go out and say can him right now, because I don't know who I can replace with him right now to be like, okay, I'm in for it, other than Lane Kiffin. You know what I mean? I got the respect for Lane off his offensive spunk. Just I don't know. I believe in Lane, so I don't know. But that's still kind of a reach. But still, I don't know. I just feel like Shanahan he's just too comfortable. Like, he's got this whole Belichick vibe, and you're not Bill Belichick. Like, you can't do that. And people, I mean, of course, people have talked about this, but like, not all players respond to the same stuff the same, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just like him and Lynch just continue to call people out, call people out, call people out. And I mean, I talked about this a little bit in episode 1, but it's like, what have these people done? What has John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan done to feel so secured? Went to the Super Bowl, had the Super Bowl pretty much won, you lost it. The 49ers can't contain mobile quarterbacks. They didn't contain Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Lost it. Complained about the notion of Shanahan's tenure was talking about quarterback play. They always try to talk about the Jimmy Garoppolo wins and what he's been without Jimmy Garoppolo, and the one year he had a competent healthy Garoppolo, they went to the Super Bowl. But it's just like Garoppolo didn't win that Super Bowl. You could say he did some things to lose that Super Bowl. And, you could probably get straight into it that, Slee was at fault, and I think Kendrick Bourne ran the wrong route or something like that. So, I mean, you can get a lot. It's a lot of fingers to point. But that's besides the point. I mean, people say a quarterback's the most valuable, so Jimmy Garoppolo could have won that game. He had ample opportunities to win that game, and he just didn't. So, I mean, that's definitely going to always sting. I don't mean to just sit here and bash Jimmy Garoppolo, because he probably won't even be on the roster next year, but it's like we're stuck with the situation because he's still playing. I don't know if that PFF tweet of him being the best quarterback the last 2 weeks was, I don't know if that was prior to the Cardinals game or that was after the Cardinals game, counting the Cardinals and the Bears game. And it's just like, I guess. I mean, the Bears game, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I wrote about that. His homecoming heroics, I wrote about that. And I gave him his praise. He played good. He looked, the 49ers looked like a playoff team. They were constantly attacking. You know what I mean? When you see a team that's just driving the ball, I mean, high-powered offenses is key in this day and age of football. So it just felt like they were kind of clicking. So you would have thought going into the Arizona game, you knew D-Hop and Murray and AJ Green wasn't playing, so it was just like this should have been lock and key. And to get down 31-7, even that touchdown they scored, when they scored that touchdown before the half, it was just felt like it was like, deep breath, because it felt like it could have been over, like it could have been like embarrassing them, and it still ended up getting embarrassing. But it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with this team. Honestly, I'm a fan, so like I honestly feel like I'm going to pick them to win tomorrow, because this team does play with a lot. The team does play better with their back against the wall, and their back is like, I mean, they can't be in rougher shape than this right now. So, it's kind of hard for me to transition to after that, saying that because they should win, and probably it's harder for me to transition into it because the Rams are pretty good. So, and the 49ers, they just haven't played like a good football team. And I've seen people say 49ers just aren't good, and that's probably true. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me to say it because like this team has talent, and team should be good, but I mean that falls on Kyle Shanahan. And I've put a lot of blame on John Lynch, and it's just like I feel like the last few weeks it's just been extra emphasis on the fact that Kyle Shanahan has had more personnel control than not that I thought, and more than a lot of people thought than he had, because he's just responsible. I don't really know how to explain it. I kind of blame the quarterback situation on him too, because people kind of gave him that excuse, like Um, he hasn't had a quarterback, and I'm just like, whose fault is that? Like, you get that ground zero year. You get that ground zero year in year one. Even though in the NFL, it's not really a ground zero year. So, I mean, it still should count. But, like, you give him the ground zero year. Boom. And next year, what did he do? I guess, did he get Garoppolo in the second year? I mean, I guess he got Garoppolo in the second year. But whatever. Got him too late. Went on that 5-game winning streak too late. Garoppolo beat those playoff teams that were sitting players. Gave him the highest contract ever at the time. So whatever. All right, so yeah. Son's birthday kind of like delayed the uplifting and deflating plays, but that's probably it's probably for the better anyway, because I probably would have just did I might have just did 20 deflating plays, honestly, off the strength that San Francisco should not have lost that game. Just embarrassing. So Rich Madrid definitely had a good write-up on Niners Nation, talking about the QB struggles and the defense turns in its worst performance of the season. So definitely go check that out on Niners Nation. Yeah, I definitely talked about the defense having their worst game of the season, and in my 5 takeaways of the week, because it was just like, I mean, it was clearly just obvious. You know what I mean? Like, missed tackles have continued. Explosives continue. I mean, that's supposed to kind of drew off that missed tackle, and I'm really just thinking about that 3rd and 18 when Aziz he missed that tackle. Like, you know what I mean? He's been so good this year, but he missed that tackle, and he was kind of like the last guy in the wall of defense, honestly, and they converted a 3rd and 18 off of it. So, even Colt McCoy, he had a 17.9 EPA per play, and that was on an average depth of target of 3.5 yards. So, I mean, they weren't really getting, I just said they were giving explosive play, but they weren't really getting explosive plays. It was more so just like critical 3rd downs and just getting ball winner plays. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay, let's wrap this up. I'm sorry. Okay, so the Cardinals just lost. Not really just lost, but they lost to the Panthers today. Not single-handedly, but I mean pretty dominating win by the Panthers. So it's just frustrating, man. 34-10 Patriots. Sorry, jeez. 34 Panthers, 10 Cardinals, 10. And that's with their starting quarterback going into the season, Sam Darnold, injured, and pretty much I don't think he's returning for the rest of the season. And that's with P.J. Walker, the backup, and Cam Newton, who they signed maybe 36 hours ago. Did they sign him Friday? So that might be 48 hours ago. I don't know. But it was like extremely recent, and you see him, get on the field and make an impact, in his first 2 plays. So it's just like, what is Kyle Shanahan doing? Because he's supposed to be this, great wizard of play calling, and it's just been feeling like his tenure's been full of excuses. I mean, it's not even Phil. It has, and I was probably a bit not blind to it, because I knew that he was kind of at fault, but I was just like, I'm thinking like, GMs was picking on these defensive linemen and stuff like this. Like, I was just kind of thinking like he didn't have that much control, but it sounded like he had control, and like he knew what was the draft selections, what was going on. So I kind of like been looking at him more with a side eye, like, like this is probably on you, buddy. So I don't know, man. It's just pretty sad that Matt Rule did what Kyle Shanahan couldn't. So I don't know. Regardless, Niners are somewhat still alive in the playoff race. Um, Seahawks and the Cardinals lost, so that kind of helps the Niners out, I guess. Um, sorry. With 9 games remaining, I talked about firing John Lynch last episode, and I probably kind of talked about it a little earlier because he's kind of mid. But like I said, it's kind of goes back. My main focus is more so on Kyle Shanahan at this point because it's like if the Niners lose this game, clearly they have no other option but to play Trey Lance the rest of the season. Clearly, it doesn't make sense. What are you gonna play Jimmy Garoppolo for? Regardless, I'm sorry, and I know, and I was a big. I was big on playing Trey Lance over Jimmy Garoppolo throughout the season, and that's been pretty blunt throughout my writing. But it's just like at this point, I get why you don't go ahead and start Lance, even though it's kind of like hurting me a little bit to say that. But it's like, okay, Garoppolo's not really the issue right now, and Lance, I mean. Yeah, he went toe to toe with Kyler Murray in his only start, so that was definitely uplifting. But I mean, I think he showed. I don't know, cause like I don't want to contradict myself, cause clearly I want him to play because he has to grow, right? But he was probably a bit so shaky that I don't know, it made me nervous a little bit. But like he was still making the plays. He was making enough plays to stay in the game, so. That's why I'm saying, like, if they lose this game, I mean, I'm sorry, Jimmy, but it's just like Shannon has no other option but to play Lance throughout the rest of the game. I mean, throughout the rest of the season. Like, it's just the Niners' playoff chances are probably shot if they lose a game. So, I mean, what else are you playing for? I mean, you gotta develop the guy you just traded your future in for. So, I mean, you gotta do something. So, Odell Beckham Jr. and Von Miller have joined the Rams, if you don't know. So those are pretty two good players. Von Miller is probably going into the Hall of Fame. Pretty pristine guy, persistent guy. More on the tail end of his career, so he's probably not like top 10 pass rushers in the league, but he's still a guy that can bend the corner on you and get sacks. You know what I mean? Get pressures, get quarterback hits or whatever. He's a guy that's going to impact the game for sure, especially when you already have Leonard Floyd and Aaron Donald on the defensive line. So, yeah, like. You add in a Hall of Fame caliber player in Von, it's like that talent just doesn't go away. I mean, I guess of course, guys get washed or whatever. But I mean, he has 4.5 sacks in 7 games. I mean, I hate to be that whole sacks, looking at sacks, but I mean, I hate to say that's the name of the game because all these coaches and it's all these videos of like talking about pressures and hits, and I do value that too for sure, but like. I think Ozzie Newsome hit it best when he was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and he was saying that he was talking about how the Ravens kind of not recruited, but how they kind of observed pass rushers going into the draft. And it was like, they got sacks in college, they're gonna get sacks in the NFL. And I mean, I kind of believe that too. Not far as like college to the pros, but like if a guy's gonna get sacks, that's gonna like continue to show up. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain, but like you know what I mean. If a guy kind of and it's probably obvious how I'm stating it, but you know what I mean. Like if a guy is showing that he can consistently get the sacks, then it's gonna be that kind of ups his stock in that position because sacks get you off the field, sacks ruin drives, sacks can create turnovers. So Von Miller is a huge deal, regardless of his age and regardless of what state he's in right now, injury wise and all that. And then the Odell, I mean, he's definitely a guy that's immediate. He's on an immediate watch because he's explosive. He's not afraid to go over the middle. can make big plays over the middle. He's got speed, route running ability. You can do a lot. So, regardless of what the stats have been in Cleveland, he's still a pretty good player. So, it's just the 49ers defense have been subject to give up big plays and explosive plays. So, it's worrisome for sure. Robert Woods tore his ACL, hoping he gets back speedy recovery, regardless of fandom of the 49ers or not. I mean, you just don't ever want to see that. Robert Woods is definitely a solid guy. Real good player, too. So, that hurts them a little bit. But, Odell's a guy that can kind of step into that role pretty much immediately anyway. I mean, I don't know how much he's going to be on the pitch count or whatever. But, I mean, they already have Cooper Kupp. When you have a guy that's a dog in the receiver room, and then you add in a former All-Pro and elite talent in Odell, it's just gonna be like pick your poison. And it's not even pick your poison with this defense because we don't have a shutdown corner, so it's just like, what are the 49ers gonna do? I don't know. I hate to be basic and just want to say, like, yeah, they should just run a lot of cover 2, but I mean, slick. Like, I want to see D'Amico get a little aggressive and run cover 1, because I feel like the last few weeks, I feel like he's gotten a little bit away from his aggressiveness. I believe in my 30 plays 49ers fans would love and shove from 49ers Bears. I believe I had a play in there showing a pretty aggressive blitz by D'Amico Ryans, and I like that. I want to see more of that, and so I want to see D'Amico stay aggressive against this Rams team, regardless of the talent. And I want to see that. I want to see him close the middle of the field with man coverage. I want to see him close the middle of the field with a single high safety too. I mean, why not? I mean, he showed that he can get to middle of the field. He showed that he can get to single high coverage different ways. I talked about that a little bit in my sorry, didn't even know what the piece was. Talked about it a little bit in my Eric Armstead piece, I believe. It wasn't really Eric Armstead, but D'Amico Ryans was kind of like talking about how Eric Armstead moved to has played more interior defensive tackle, which I've kind of been vouched for maybe a season or two. I mean, I get that he can play outside a little bit, but he's more so like a 34 defensive end versus a 43 defensive end. I think with your 43 defensive end, you want to have more speed at edge. I mean, I hate to say that it's so much different, but it kind of is, bro. So, yeah, in the when D'Amico Ryans was talking about how he wanted to play more inside, I wrote on NinersNation how D'Amico Ryans allowed Talanoa Hufanga and Tavon Wilson to close the middle of the field, which is pretty much, they did that with cover 3, cover 6, they did it with cover 1. So I believe I had 3 plays up there, showing different variations of that. But I mean, it's gonna be tough because Sean McVay, he can dial up explosive plays, and Matt Stafford gives a totally different dynamic than Jared Goff. So it's just rough. It's rough to pick the 49ers here, but I think I'm gonna do it just because like at this point they have to win this game. So it's like, why not? I mean, I'm probably not gonna bet on the 49ers to win, but I mean, I might do some prop bets and probably pick the over because I think the Niners should definitely score and compete with this. So, where does that put us? I probably talked about the reman and remanded. That was that was pretty bad. It was in my. I think there's a huge sense of urgency piece. Shout out to them NinersNation's commenters, man. They don't slip up. They don't miss anything. So that definitely helps me as a writer. I will definitely be I don't know what to. I'm not gonna. For sure. I think they hit the over 49. I probably just said that. That's I locked it. I locked in it. I locked in at 49. I don't know if my bet is still live with that. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I still. I'm pretty sure I still have a parlay with that open. So, yeah, I do because I have an Elijah Mitchell prop, and I got him as an anytime touchdown scorer and over 61.5 rushing. So, yeah, I probably did a bunch of rambling, but I'm gonna have a guest on this week, so be on the lookout for that. Yeah, I might do a little instant reaction tomorrow. Hopefully, if the Niners win, I'll be in a lot better mood. But if they lose, oh, Kyle Shanahan, I'm on your head top. Oh boy, if they lose, I mean, they're subject to lose with Vegas thinking they're gonna lose because they're underdogs or whatever. But it's just like it's time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. Xavier Dixon. Catch me at Goobville on Twitter. Goobville919 on Instagram. I said I'm gonna be more active up there, so hopefully I'll be more active up there. Still trying to veer out to other writing positions. Just kind of got a lot going on, preparing to move back kind of near home and all that. Getting an apartment, shopping, and all that stuff. So bear with me. Definitely gonna be trying to pump out as much as I can at NinersNation. So be on the lookout for most of my content there at this point. Like I said, it should be 3 episodes this week. I'm supposed to be recording tomorrow. I got to line up a guest for later in the week. Might do 2 guests because I was supposed to have Mark DeLucci on last week, but I fell asleep on Thursday. That was on me. It'd be rough. It'd be rough getting off work. You know what I mean? Going to the kids and then doing all that boom, 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 boom. But we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it in. I guarantee the guest is gonna be up here this week. If it's not Mark up later on the week, we'll have somebody. Maybe a former player so we can actually talk some ball, talk some X's and O's. Help me start rambling up here. That's just my biggest problem up here. I didn't talk about my writing problems. I mean, I talked about me saying remanded versus remand, and that's a clear flaw. But it's kind of tough talking about yourself, man. I don't know. I'm gonna get better with it. I'm rambling still. I got work to do. So that's episode 2 of the Goobville Podcast. Let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all be giving me food. Maybe y'all not listening to this all the way, but you know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think, what I need to do to get better, what you like, what you're liking about the podcast, what you're not liking. You know, talk to me. You know what I mean? Talk trash about my writing here too. I don't care. You know what I mean? Let me know something. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Do all that stuff. Share to a friend. We're gonna get broader than the Niners and NFL too. Like I said, more content. So, thanks for watching. Over and out.